Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at the CS Force First Aid Medical Pouch. Alright everybody, welcome back. Now I'm not normally a fan of pre-made first aid kits. They're great normally for small wounds and little boo-boo type stuff, but they're always lacking stuff for serious bleeding or bad injuries. This one's a little different. For the price point that this is at, which is $39.99, so 40 bucks, this is one of the best kits I've seen. Of course, you want to add other items, but for a starting point kit, this pretty much has everything covered. Now, I threw everything in this pouch inside here. I'll be reorganizing once I'm done with this video, but the med supplies come in a plastic bag sealed on the inside of the bag itself. So I just tossed them in there and stuffed them in pockets. Since I'm going to take it all out for you, I'll reorganize it later, but for now, that's kind of how it looks. So it looks a little confusing in there now. So let me open it up and show you what's inside. All right, now this comes with 214 pieces of physician-recommended medical supplies. Almost everything you could possibly want for a starter kit comes in this EDC pouch, such as cleaning wipes, wound dressings, thermometers, different types of bandages, CPR kit set, and shears and tweezers. It also has a tourniquet, which I'm going to replace. They're not my favorite types of tourniquets. If you've ever seen them, they're these little bands, you know, that just kind of wrap around. I'd rather put a cat tourniquet in there. But for the money, and if you don't have anything, it's better than nothing. It's at least, you know, a chance to stop bleeding. So I'm going to open it up here. Let me show you what we got. Let me show you the first pouch here. What I did in here, and this is going to stay this way, these are just Band-Aids and cleaning wipes on the outside here. So you got all your Band-Aids and all your cleaning wipes on this pouch here. And these are those BZK towelettes, you know, the cleaning kind of stuff before you treat a wound, before you seal it with a Band-Aid. And speaking of wounds, if you see my arm is really red there, I was digging in my my patch outside of a zucchini. And it always seems to get itchy when I do that. So anyway, back to the video. These are your temperature strips here, your thermometers. These are really handy. I have a different type of these somewhere, and I've actually used these in the past, and they work very, very well. They are one-time use, but when you need them and you got to see if somebody has a fever, they're well worth it. All right, gloves and gloves. And I put these on the outside because they're the easiest to grab right away. I'll probably upgrade these to a non-latex type as time goes on, but for what they are, they work for now. I just want to be careful if I'm treating somebody with a latex allergy or anybody else in my immediate area or my family or whatever, that I don't mess them up by using these gloves. And I don't know if they're latex free or not, so it's always better to just do it. You got an emergency blanket. These are fairly typical. Good for keeping people warm when they're going into shock. All right. Here are your first aid masks. This is what they mean by a kit. It's really just a mask that covers from mouth to mouth. Now, being that most of the first aid courses I've taken have moved away from the mouth part and it's just chest compressions, they're good to have just in case, but I probably would never use them, so I'm probably going to put them somewhere else where they're not as accessible. All right, moving on. Q-tips, always handy for a regular first aid kit. This was a bag. I'm assuming this is a bag to dispose of contaminated items, but there's no hazmat stickers on them, so if I run into a bag with those kind of designations on it, I don't want somebody to pick something up. Of course, if you see a bag of bloody rags, you're not going to pick it up, but I don't want somebody to pick up something that's infected if I throw this in a garbage pail or whatever, so I'm probably going to upgrade that. That's going to be one of the things I do upgrade. All right. Do have EMT shears. This is actually impressive. They're not the best. You know, they're kind of thin, but they're good, and they will work, and they do cut. And let's see if I can find something that... I got a paper towel here that I just dried my arm off with. Yeah, I mean, they will cut through it. But I may either sharpen these or get a better set. But other than that, really, that's the only physical thing aside from the tourniquet that I would upgrade for my own self. But for you as a first-time first aid person, you may keep them in there. You may not have anything else to upgrade with. And they will work. They do cut. And tweezers. Okay. Next up here, I've got some gauze, some rolled gauze, and some tape down here. Handy stuff to have. And I like that it's in smaller sizes so that it can fit into a bag like this. It's kind of convenient to have that. Oh, that's right, Band-Aids. I was like, what's in the front? All right. Wound dressing. This is sealed, kind of vacuum sealed. You can use this to seal up any kind of major wounds. You usually use this to wrap it around. It's not a triangular bandage, but it works similar, and you can wrap it around, but you can't use it all the ways you can use a triangular bandage. But pretty darn good for somebody just getting started. Now, this is, if I can get it out, this is the tourniquet I was telling you about. Now, if you have no other tourniquet in your house, yeah, you know, I keep it. From what I know about bleeding, can't open the bag today. Wait a second. From what I know about bleeding and certain areas when they're hit, like arterial bleeds, it might work. I'm not so sure though if it's what I want to be using. And it also isn't very large either. So for an arm, it does expand, but that in itself is a problem because I don't want it to expand. I want it to be tight. So for a small bleed that you have to put a tourniquet on, it would probably work pretty well. But again, I'd want to upgrade this. So really, that's just another item. And I'll put these items to the side here that I'm going to be upgrading. There's nothing really wrong with it to start out with, but I would be upgrading it. So far, really, it's just these two items. Let's get rid of that. Okay, burn dressings, eye pads. Believe it or not, a lot of injuries. I found this out when I was doing my CERT class. They had an EMT teaching that part of the class. He said a lot of injuries and disasters are eye injuries. And one of the fake injuries that I came across was an eye injury. And they done up the person pretty good. So it was pretty, you know, to think about covering somebody's eye when it's all bloody and messy. Kind of, you know, if you're not used to seeing that, it can kind of shock you. But these are very handy, and these are actually cool to see them included in here. They're also good for, you know, just a simple poke in the eye that you got, and you want to go to the ER, but you want to cover your eye so it doesn't get anything else in it. Very handy items to have, and I'm glad to see them in there. The burn dressing is good too. You got two of those. I'm going to move this around. I'll straighten it all out so you can see it all at once when I finish the video here. Gauze sponges, very, very handy to soak up blood. Abdominal combine pad. Good for, again, not good for a sucking chest wound, but good to cover up a very serious bleeding wound on the abdominal cavity. And we have the triangular bandage. So it's good to see they did include one. These are awesome. You can make these into slings. You can use these for head or eye injuries. They're very, very versatile. If you don't know how to use one, I'm sure there's videos on here. Check out Skinny Medic's channel. I think he has a video on these, as well as tourniquets and a ton of other medical stuff. So it's very handy. Very good channel to watch. And I am by no means a medical professional. This is just so I could treat somebody in a real emergency, or a simple emergency, or simple cut or scrape or injury while I'm out on the trail. I believe these are for the tourniquet to stop it. They're little clips that go on it. Okay, so I'm going to move everything around so you can see everything. I'm going to show you what I like, what I'd probably upgrade, and we'll go from there. All right, so this is everything laid out in the front here. I have the three things I would replace eventually. If you can't afford to replace it right away, they are a good starter, but I would replace them eventually down the road. And the bags we explained, I just want ones that are marked hazmat in case I'm throwing out bloody material or gauze or bandage or whatever. I don't want people to pick it up and mess with it. The tourniquet, of course, you know, it's a starter, it's something, but I would get something a little bit better. I'd probably put one of my cat tourniquets in here. So I'd upgrade that, and I'd upgrade the scissors eventually, just because they're kind of thin, but to start off with, that's good. And those are really the only three items that I would upgrade in here. The rest of this stuff is an awesome kit, and to even have this stuff shows me somebody knew what they were doing when they put this together. That's really impressive, because I mean, how many first aid kits do you buy for 30, 40, 50 bucks that don't have a tourniquet in them? They got tons and tons of pills and aspirin and all that junk and sunburn cream, but they don't have a tourniquet. And this is really first aid to me, not, you know, oh, I got a bad sunburn. I can carry a thing of sunburn cream with me. So all in all, I really like it. There are plenty of bandages, Band-Aids, but they're not too many, and they're varied in size. You know, you have the knuckle bandages, you have the finger ones, you have the big ones for bigger abrasions and cuts, but they're not a ton of them. Sometimes first aid kits tend to overdo the bandages, and you open it up, and it's like, my God, I got enough bandages in here for the rest of my life. I like that they include the thermometer strips. I really like that. That's very cool. I don't know if they'd be reused, but I probably would only use them one time, unless it was on myself personally. But they give you 3 of them, so you can kind of do that. And the fact that they have the triangular bandage and the premium wound dressing, burn dressing, the eye pads, And no, that's not an iPad. It's an iPad for your eye. You know, that's kind of handy too. The emergency blanket. So all in all, I like the kit, you know. There are some things I'd upgrade, but I don't think they're horrible items. And it's a nice kit, you know, pretty well thought out, decent kit. So let's talk about the bag for a second. Let me move this stuff out of the way. The bag is 1000D water resistant nylon fabric. It's got sturdy double stitching. Got reflective tape on it with a one-way zipper. Silent, sort of silent. And a hand strap to carry. It also has the mall attachments on the back, so you can attach this to a kit of some kind. It's kind of big for a first aid kit. If you're looking to have a blowout kit, say on your battle belt or your plate carrier, this would definitely be a little large. It's also in black, so it may not match with your gear, but all in all, for a car kit or for a camping kit, this is a pretty well thought out kit. All in all, I really like it. So I'm pretty pleased with it, and for the money, you really can't go too wrong with something like this. It's not all that bad, and pretty darn good for the supplies. Like I said, it shows that somebody was thinking when they added the tourniquet, they added the shears, you know, and it's good to see people starting to get a little more educated on first aid when it comes to kits, and not just selling you a bag of aspirin and bandages and some burn cream and some burn gel. You know, that always drives me nuts. These little tiny kits that they sell in Walmart that, you know, yeah, if I get a little cut on my finger, I can put a Band-Aid on it. But if I get a bad cut or something, I'm kind of screwed with those little ones. So I'm going to give you a link where to get this. You can get one. I'm going to put it down below. It'll be in my store as well. As I said, they run $39.99, so you figure $40. Darn good, well thought out kit for the money. And I'm impressed. I really like it. So don't forget to check it out. As I said, I'll put the link down below. Don't forget to check out our store down below as well. We have our Amazon store there. We also have our Olight link, and we have a sale coming up. I can't tell you much yet, but a sale's coming up. So make sure you get registered on the Olight site and check that out. And we also have our Thrive Life link down below. Check them out too if you're interested in getting started in freeze-dried food storage. Anyway, folks, I really thank you for watching today. Stay safe and stay prepared.